Hello, hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. We hope you're doing wonderfully tonight. We're doing pretty good here. It's been a day, so it'll probably be a fun night. Let's get things started with some programming announcements. We have many other shows here on the channel, and thusly we have many other things to tell you about. Tomorrow night, Will and Datafang, Remnant 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's the final boss of the Bloodborne zone.
Oh.
Will we be able to beat it? Who knows? Wednesday, Wild Ambition. Join us for the last of the non-social encounters, and then a big party. It'll be a good time. I'm excited to see what Honey Madeline does there. It'll be very interesting to me.
I'm sorry, I never saw Cooper leave, so to my perspective, they've just come into the apartment twice.
I think they came out when you were up getting a drink.
It's a Cooper doppelganger.
There's truly only one entrance and exit to this hellhole we call an apartment. It's a fire hazard.
Oh, you're good. Then, of course, on Thursday we're off, but on Friday we have the Astral Calling. They're fighting a black hole.
Did they set it off?
Fight a black hole?
I am gone for 1 week, and y'all set off the black hole.
Not necessarily, I don't know.
Wasn't me. I didn't do
Matthew, you're filling me in after the fucking...
That implies I was paying attention. Once I used the infinitely replicating cubes to slow the elevator, I kind of lost interest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not true, Will.
That's a devastating thing for Will to hear.
No, we had some interesting encounters. We finally got to face the foot soldiers of the Calstigian Order, which was interesting. We got to get a peek into what kind of stuff we're going to be fighting and their abilities. Will has done some interesting crafting with his NPCs, so...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then on Saturday, the Tabletop Bros, which are... Now, Will, what is the system we're going to be exploring?
On Saturday, because without Calf, we've decided, McKenna and everyone else, that we're going to take a look at a different TTRPG system each week that each person suggested. And this week, we're doing Fabula Ultima, which is the closest thing to a Final Fantasy / anime system. And it was not me who suggested this one, it was Chad.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Final Fantasy, you say? What?
Maybe you can try the brand new something Heaven's Gate. Something Heaven's
No,
Gate.
they are.
Something.
Just a heads up, chat. They are making a Final Fantasy TTRPG. Square Enix is releasing it. I've already
bought it. Giving it to PJ McGaw so he can write us a story.
So have I. I've already bought it, and I've already invited PJ and Sarah on to that very first run through stream of it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Introduced to Issa Rutara, the Warrior of Light.
I personally would also recommend, I don't do this very often because hopefully it's self-evident, but I would recommend people go back and watch the VOD of Saturday's Tabletop Bros, where we talked and ran through character creation for Daggerheart. Because I think it's a pretty interesting system, how kind of modular the character creation is. It is a little limited, because it's early and it's open beta, so Chad brought up some good points near the tail end of the stream, where some kind of abilities and spells are a little generic, but early days yet, and if you agree with him, feel free to fill out their feedback form and tell them that, because it's an open beta. They are encouraging you to break and criticize the system.
And then of course on Sunday, the most relaxing stream of the week, Stardew Sunday with Will, Sarah, and M. Come and see Sarah romance Shane. Come and see Emily run about the valley, and come and see me desperately try to be useful for my friends. And then, of course,
this is the cat doing yoga.
Bite you.
Always the cat doing yoga.
Always the cat doing yoga. And then, of course, on Mondays, we have the Strike the Thousands AP. It's the show you're watching right now. And why are you watching the show? Well, because we have a absolutely fantastic cast, which I will let our absolutely fantastic GM and scholar, Urbanov, a.k.a. Matt, introduce us to. Go ahead,
Milt,
Matt.
When you compliment me, look me in the eye.
You watch
Look
for
at
the
me.
cats.
Look at me! But yes, thank you, Will. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Urbanoff, various places on the internet. I am the game master for this particular group as we run through the Strength of Thousands adventure path, where we go from students to lore speakers in the Magambia, the premier magic academy in Galeria. It's all magical and educational. It's lovely. And there is no healthcare at the Magambia, we've determined. Not from a systemic problem, just from neglect. But
I didn't know anything about
a school
that.
is nothing without the individuals to fill it, the lore speakers to run it, and to shape young minds. And speaking of the lore speakers, I have a wonderful collection of them here tonight. And we are going to start by introducing ourselves, our characters, and I'm going to give you the little question ahead of this time. If you had to design a banner for your house, a la kind of Game of Thrones, what would be the simple kind of animal herald on the banner? Or, you know, sometimes it's a thing of wheat or something, I don't know.
Sarah
Strong.
just
But we're going to start with our founder and CEO, Will. Please introduce yourself, your character, and the heraldry of your house.
I am the problem. Hello, my name's Will, also known as Tabletop Rolls here on the internet. Tonight I am playing Igura, Gama, and Choco of the Raging Rhino House. The heraldry would be a rhino, would be like the head of a rhino with a frog sitting on top of it. So I'm 2-for-1ing you, but I got it. That's my jam.
Is there a color you have in mind for the banner?
It would be a nice deep purple.
the banner.
Oh,
The banner.
purple. Royal Army.
The banner.
But speaking of someone who seemed excited at this particular question, Sarah, please introduce yourself, your character, and your house.
So, clarification here. Are we talking about our personal house or like the house of our character? Cause,
No,
like,
yours. Your Sarah's house.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Margaret. I'm playing Charlotte, the Anati toxicologist. I think it's kind of obvious it would be a cat, a feline of some way, but it would be, in fact, a wonderful curly red cat with the dopiest looking face in the world. It wouldn't be a teddy, believe it or not, but, you know, I'm not called Big Red Cat Pictography for nothing. It's all thanks to the fact that our cattery specializes in big, dumb, red, curly boys.
I'm sorry, is the actual word cattery?
Cattery.
Like a meatery?
C-A-T-T.
Similar similar word styling, not as in like the meat of cats. I don't mean that.
The funny thing is that for anybody who would like some clarification, our cattery name is Kitty Cat Cattery, with all K. Because if anybody knows my mother's name is Kitty, K-I-T-T-I, and yes, she had that name before she got into cats. So
A
Is
match
the
made
cat
in
and
Cat
cattery
Cafe.
also spelled with K's?
Also, I just thought of this
amazing
now.
how I figured that one out.
Bonus points. You don't have to do this, but bonus points if your house if you have your house words. You know, like the North Remembers or Growing Strong.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
I'll take it. And speaking of someone associated with cats because they are holding one just right now, McKenna. Please introduce yourself, the criminal, the aspiring criminal in your hands, because they haven't quite got those arms yet to crime position yet.
Hello, my name is McKenna. Tonight I'm playing Agate.
And I'm playing Avi Avi, the Nyctera witch. This is Pepper. You know her, you love her. She's just a little babby. But I've been gone for the weekend, so she is extra snuggly. She wants this, I promise. She circles my chair and stares at me until I give her exactly this.
Mother, I yearn for the scritches.
And you're gonna get them. You're gonna look at those cheeks. Look at those cheeks. You're gonna get them. But what am I gonna get for my banner? Technically, the Otynans do have like a banner, and I believe it is like a lion, which is a little generic. So I do technically already have a banner. But I could go for a different African wildcat. My favorite is actually servals, which Sarah knows pretty well because Teddy has them in his ancestry. Any cat that has these boba belly spots, you are far removed from that bloodline, young lady. But Teddy is a lot less removed from that bloodline. They have servals that have been crossbred with house cats. But servals, the original ones, are actually very cool. There she goes. She doesn't want to be held anymore. And I have loved servals since I was like a young lady. So that would be my pick.
Savannahs.
And
Not Savannah. Savannahs are the crossbreed, yeah.
Savannahs are the domesticated serval.
saving.
I think they are different.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're the same. Because I've seen Savannah cats and I've seen servals and they're different.
That's because the Savannah cats have to be 4 generations removed or they're illegal in the States.
Right. I would say those are different.
Bengals came from the tiger.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall
That's
in.
crazy. I didn't know that.
Moving on.
How did you turn? How? Wait. Oh, I now need to know how a tiger became a house cat.
Selective breeding.
Ouch.
Precisely what Matt said.
Third cat. And
Huh.
saving the best for last, Zoe, please introduce yourself, your
Hi.
character, and your house.
Oh, so
Hi,
now
I'm
thanks for the
Zoe.
best.
I go by Zosie Pose on the internet. This little stinker is being a stinker. And I'm playing Ophelia. She's our whisper elf bard. She loves all things pink and cute. And technically my family also has a crest, which is... I actually have never been able to look at it like full on up because it's hung pretty high in our household. It's either a generic lion or some sort of griffin, which is kind of cool. But I would probably pick some sort of cutie bird because I raised birds when I was little. Either some sort of peace dove or some sort of budgie or some sort of fun little mimicky bird of some sort. I don't know. I just really love birds.
That's perfectly fine. And last but not least, but not the best, he's already said that about Zoe. I am, of course, as mentioned earlier, Matt or Urbanoff, running the show, and my house. I should have expected you all would pick kind of cats, but mine, for reasons I don't have time to get into, the symbol of my house is a cat's skull and a candle.
Ooh.
The words
Cryptic.
of my house are wisdom, patience, wrath.
Ooh.
But yes, that's enough about non-specific world building. Why don't we go ahead, roll that intro, and get into the game, because we've got some interesting variety of things today.
Pushing the
Interesting.
button.
Wow, I was totally wrong. The Tynan crest is actually 3 birds in a knight's helmet.
I like that.
Mine is 3 bells and a knight's helmet. Interesting.
Hey, interesting. We all looked
and
up our
welcome
family
back.
crest on the break.
Heraldry is a fun thing to pursue.
Huh? What?
Um,
I can't hear you. I'm looking up my family crest.
What have I unleashed? When last we left our lore speakers, their semester at the school, 3 months, had come to an end. You guys had engaged in a variety of interesting activities. You had helped people with some interesting tasks. You had frustrated the efforts of some explosively mischievous fae in the city who were stealing noodle trucks and making replicas. You had journeyed upriver to investigate the rotting carcass of a monster, only to be confronted by a still living one and then killing it, resulting in 2 rotting carcasses. It was great for class. And, most significantly, as we sort of built up to it with driving lessons, you guys participated in the maiden test flight of a magically flying kind of galleon. Did a few laps around the school. You managed not to crash it. And for your trouble, you got your own little, token that can summon yourself a little boat. Though it's not little, apparently, can carry 30-something people. And our resident alchemist managed to analyze it, and now, if you devoted the time and resources to it, you could make your own. You could make a small fleet of these magical boats. But there may not be time for that, because you guys are but days away now from launching an expedition to find and possibly walk through the doorway to the Red Star, hoping to hunt down the location of Old Mage Tatemba, the founder of the Magambia, the magical school that you all work at now. But there's also some personal things being taken care of. Ophelia and Avi Avi decided to make use of the magic of the kind of triphase mirror, which is a kind of sort of an interesting standing vanity mirror that allows one to sort of do a magical introspection where you can look back upon your past or look inwards to your inner self. McKenna, being a Nycteran pixie, has a lot of lives behind her, a lot of past lives behind her, and she was able to briefly converse with some of her past lives, who gave sort of cryptic information. But she came out of that, and Ophelia had expressed an interest in using the mirror, and we'll see where that leads. But first, I want to mention that there's been a lot of hubbub been made around the city about the rise of a organization, a cult, some have characterized it, that seeks to enthrall people and draw them in with promises of taking control of their own stories, and I guess maybe self-empowerment or something. And I should say this at the top, it is April 1st. Keep that in mind. There is another way one can possibly take control of one's own life, and it is a great opportunity for people of all walks of life. And of course, I'm just going to make sure I'm dragging this on the right layer. I'm talking about the new organization, Only Heroes. Where you can be your own boss.
Matthew, you've outdone yourself.
This is so good.
I'm very proud of that logo.
How does this tie into the cult, babe? What?
It's a better and more wholesome way to take control of your life. And
wholesome without the W.
I mean, it's a platform for your own expression. You can do whatever you want with it.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
Okay, ally.
Okay, ally.
I'm just very proud of the graphic design work. I spent a lot of time, and because of the research I had to do on the fonts for this, and how many times I had to type in other things into my search engine is tainted for quite a while now. I had to find very specific
you
fonts.
said?
Yes.
Taint?
It's very hard to find fonts sometimes, especially free ones, because I refuse to pay for fonts.
Oh, that's
But anyway,
fair.
I've had my little
hate to pay
April
for a
1st
font.
fun.
You know
But
what Matt
Thank you
would
for
pay
sharing,
for?
Matthew.
Only heroes.
sorry, what was that, Will?
No, say it louder. Say it louder. Say
You
it
know what-
prouder.
Do you know what Matt would pay for? Only heroes.
I mean,
And
I'd
you
love to
could
see people
too.
in dungeons. You know, interpret that as you will.
Extrapolate on that now.
See, the thing I had in mind for it, in a way, is that it's like a way for adventurers to actually supplement their income by like magically live streaming their dungeon delving.
That would be kind of sick, actually. That's
Wanna see
kind
us-
of what we do.
Like we've found three treasure chests. If you pay 5 gold pieces for this month, you'll get to see us open them and maybe possibly fight a mimic. That's the tier 1
Ooh.
sub.
That's good. I'd watch that. I'd pay for that.
It's also got a bit of gotcha element too. We're gonna open these treasure chests on stream. One of them might be a mimic.
That's
Well, it's
actually
like-
the... Oh, go ahead. McKenna.
It's like a vicarious gotcha. People love mystery box unboxing videos. That was like a huge YouTube genre for like
Oh yeah, and those ones don't even
minute,
threaten
it was-
to eat you.
it was inescapable for a while.
No,
I mean,
that
there's certain
premise
games
is
that still have
actually the
mystery
core
boxes.
concept to the isekai that I've been writing.
Hmm.
Trapped in another world with my Twitch chat.
Oh god,
Or stream
wasn't that
chat,
just Twitch
something,
plays Pokemon?
something along those lines? Basically, like a streamer who gets isekai'd into the game they're playing, and they like can still see chat.
Oh, that's
That
interesting.
is, there's some interesting possibilities there,
It's
especially if they
actually-
knew people in the chat.
It's actually a decent premise still, I think.
Curious.
Especially if it's done well and doesn't just slide into very generic isekai stuff.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing, right? If his stream gets shut down, he loses his ability to
He
like, talk
dies.
to his parents or his friends or his like girlfriend or something. So anytime any isekai bullshit starts happening, it's like, nope, TOS, TOS, TOS.
But would publishing this not in and of itself be a TOS violation?
This also reminds me of the connecting thread in Hello to the Magic Tavern, where he's only able to do his podcast in the fantasy world because he's getting a slight bit of Wi-Fi through a portal behind the Burger King. But enough about fictional television shows that one day, if we win the lottery, we will produce. Ophelia.
Yes.
Avi Avi has made use of your mirror. You were very nice of her to let her do that. Who knows how many charges it has left. So yeah, Avi Avi's done with her thing. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna use that mirror.
I should just confirm something here. Is Avi Avi still in the room? Or
No,
are you
I'm
gonna
waiting till
stay?
she leaves.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thanks, Ophelia. Bye.
Avi
What
Avi's now going to
sweetie
go
pie.
update her Only Heroes. I used a magical item today. I'll tell you all about it for a 10 gold tier.
I'm not
My
dignifying
new
this anymore.
photo subscription of my past lives is in. Unlock that content now.
There are opportunities here, is what I'm saying.
Not whoring out your past lives for content.
See, you're choosing to characterize it that way. That's a choice you're making.
I think
Huh.
that's just an uncharitable interpretation of the facts, unfortunately.
Yes,
You
and
could
you're
say the
making
same
it.
thing about us. We could say we're whoring out our D&D games for content.
But it is a choice.
Nuh-uh. Say nuh-uh right now.
What if
Say
I said
nuh-uh.
nuh-uh to saying nuh-uh?
Then you're still saying nuh-uh.
So it's a
Okay,
Naa Ouroboros.
Yes,
Ouroboros can have a little Ouroboros as a treat.
as a treat.
Ouroboros, you mean Ouroboros. Thank you.
I'm not. I don't want to. Anyway, Ophelia, magic mirror.
Hi.
You can-
Yes.
Fairest in the land. I don't know.
Gonna use the mirror because last time apparently I used it wrong.
You
I
just
don't
forgot to
think-
turn
I don't
around.
remember saying that.
I never turned around.
Oh well. So you're going to use the mirror.
Yes.
All right. You stand before the mirror. a weird, creepy mask thing emerges, and who is the fairest? And I know that's different
Me.
thing entirely.
We all know it's Ophelia.
Obvi.
The world fades away around you. You
It's
emerge
actually-
into that same kind of empty, dark, but not like you're not in darkness. You can see yourself perfectly lit still. It's just kind of a void. You do hear sort of a humph behind you, like a mildly kind of frustrated, disappointed sound someone would make.
What was that? And I turn around.
Two figures stand behind you. One of them is dressed in an outfit that immediately catches your eye. It is a wonderful kind of mix of performative, like finery, like something you would wear on stage for a really fun musical number, but it's also practical in a way that you can see adventuring in it. This is like you have dreamed about making this kind of outfit that combines both your pageantry and practical adventuring gear. It's just great. You think this is a fantastic outfit, and that person, who is you, it turns out you're modeling this outfit for yourself, possibly, is standing there, arms crossed, foot lightly tapping on the void floor, head kind of tilted, looking at you in a slightly kind of disappointed, irritated fashion. But then opposite them, on your like left side, now that you've turned around, is you again, but your hair is done up in a very no-nonsense kind of bun. You've got like little reading spectacles on. They're on like a chain. It's very kind of it's a practical. It's not drab, but it's a very practical, everyday kind of teacher outfit. And you've got like an arm full of books, and they are very specifically not meeting your gaze. They're not like being like avoiding or shy or anything, but their gaze is downward at the floor. They are not looking you in the eye. Also, they're wearing very practical flats.
Okay. Well, I guess I would address the flashy one first. What was that about?
I'm just getting a little impatient, I guess. We've been sitting in these classes for so long, and they kind of like side eye the other version who's dressed like a teacher, and like, this is not living up to our potential. We are supposed to be experiencing the world. We're supposed to be spreading our wings, and we are supposed to be taking everything we can from this life. And here we're like teaching these kids who may amount to nothing. Like, this is not the best use of our time.
I mean, you're me, right?
I am you as much as you are me now. And kind of looks at the other one.
I mean, I agree with most of what you're saying,
I
but
hope so.
I also would say you're wrong about the kids. They have limitless possibilities.
The other one stirs slightly out and kind of steals a glance at you, and you do see kind of like a slightly happy smile on her face a little bit.
And as great as we are,
Very great.
we can be a great role model for them while we're here. We're not going to stay here forever, though.
How long is not forever?
I don't know, actually. It's a good question.
I mean, I thought we were going to this school to make something of ourselves, to seize and you know, realize our potential. We have so much to show to this world. We're not meant to like hide in the woods or do little shows.
It's true. I guess I haven't been putting on as many productions as I was before. But haven't we seen great things and gone on great adventures? We found the Golden City, for fuck's sake.
And we can't tell anyone about it.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. We've heard that so much, even in our own heads. Not yet. What are we
Right.
waiting for? Why are we waiting?
The right moment?
The right moment is the moment that we seize.
Hmm.
The other one speaks up, very kind of, not necessarily timidly, but in maybe an attempt to be respectful. And she just sort of says, we made commitments to our students, to the school, to our companions and our friends. It would not reflect well on us to shirk those responsibilities or commitments. And the flashy one, doesn't really have anything to say to that, but she kind of like grinds her teeth a little
Yes.
bit.
But they would also understand if we wanted to leave. We're very
Flashy
picky
one,
about who we let around us.
the flashy one kind of looks around. I mean, do we care if they understand or not? That seems like we're just tying ourselves to, kind of looks at both of you, more people.
Who
I think
said we were
it's crowded
tying?
enough in here already, I think.
So you're saying you don't want to go on a trip in
No,
our
I
favorite
do want
rocket
to go
ship?
on a trip. To spread our star across the skies, I think, is the best use of our time. I
And
just think we should maybe reconsider if we want to come back to our classroom with chalk getting on our sleeves.
I'll leave the option open. We always keep our options open, don't we?
I think being flexible is important.
Exactly. So wait a little longer.
I suppose we don't have a choice, do we?
Well, we're Ophelia. We always have a choice to do whatever
We
we
do.
want.
They seem satisfied with that answer for the moment.
Is there Okay, so is there anything in the front of the mirror?
At the moment, no, it's just sort of you guys in a triangle in this void.
So weird. So why would Avi look back and see her past selves, but Ophelia looks forward or looks back and sees like future possibilities?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
32. You don't necessarily think that the direction that you looked was terribly like indicative. It was looking back for Avi Avi because for her to look inward, she was looking back upon her past lives. It was kind of coincidental that she looked back because that's, symbolically that's where your past lives would be. They're behind you.
I see.
But you seem to be now sort of in this little triangle of equal points that form a greater whole, perhaps.
Always equal points, isn't it? Okay. Um
Also, I, and for the first time, the flashy one looks a little hesitant about something, and she says, "I'm just out of curiosity. I don't really care. What are you going to do with the orb?"
I was just about to ask you about the orb.
Her eyes kind of light up a little bit about that, and even the more demure one looks up with a little bit more interest. Um, Flashy one says, I mean, we already have what we got from the deal, and I don't think we are necessarily bound by the pre-existing deal anymore. Um, the little deal maker is doing her own thing now. Um, so, I mean, it would certainly reintegrating what we gave up. I think would be a avenue to more things to experience and enjoy. And you get the, like she you don't need to even roll for this. There's sort of a bit of a hunger in her voice.
You're the reason we did it, though.
I mean, it seemed like an idea at the time. I thought it would be interesting, but now I just realize it's sort of like cutting off a part of ourselves. It's one less thing to experience. I'm not I'm not flawless. I will admit that I can make mistakes just like all of you can.
No, I feel fine without it.
She doesn't look happy with that necessarily. Um, the demure one kind of smiles at you in a bit, not necessarily agreeing with you, but in your response to the flashy one, she seems to appreciate you kind of putting the flashy one on her heels.
That knife, though.
What about it?
What, you're not interested about that at all?
I don't think we need to have anything to do with that knife.
You don't
I
think?
think it's something. Honestly, I couldn't care less, but I don't think we have any need for it or any use for it.
You're not curious.
I mean, it's a knife. What could I be curious about?
The possibilities.
What do we need the knife for? What are we going to cut with it?
The orb.
I don't think we need that. We could just smash it or swallow it.
Hmm.
I I think it's in our best interest not to get involved with that knife. It's some magic stuff that's nothing to do with our performances or you know, putting people in their place in a fight. I don't think we need it.
And what do you think about that? And she kind of turns to the demure one.
The demure one actually looks a little scared now. And she kind of is rapidly looking between the two of you. And she just says, um, for once, I kind of agree. I don't think we need to go anywhere near it. It seems dangerous. And the Flash Twins, it's not dangerous. Like, what do we have to fear from the knife? I mean, just no reason to get involved with it.
Just tired of not knowing things. Don't you think it would give us some answers?
I don't think we need any answers. We know what the orb is. We know what we dealed away and what we could get back. What do we need the knife for?
Okay. You can keep playing dumb.
She looks visibly sort of offended at that, like you implying that you see through her. And she kind of glances at the demure one, then slowly turns her gaze back to you and takes a very aggressive step forward and cups your face with her hands. Don't forget, we made a deal. And you fall out of the mirror state onto the ground in your room.
What did I just do?
There's a knock at your door.
Yeah?
You hear Inders in darkness, like, um, I heard a noise. Is everything all right in there? Did you drop anything?
Nope, we're peachy keen.
Oh, do you have visitors? I'll leave you to. I'll leave you. Um. Thump, 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 thump. Yeah. Anything you want to do before bed, Ophelia?
Make a strong cup of tea that's not just tea.
You've got some samples from Shazari in a drawer. Yeah. So, all right. Ophelia enjoys a calming cup of tea to steady her slightly tremory hands. Um, All right, so Avi's done a thing, Ophelia's done a thing. Before we go to bed, the night before you guys set to begin your preparations for your trip, um, Igora and Ophelia. Is there not Ophelia? Igora and Charlotte. Sorry.
Barbara.
Is there anything you would like to do before bed? You, I think, just came back from your visit with Mercedes, so you may have had a full day already.
I am perfectly fine dipping into the dark tomes and falling asleep for the night.
All right. You fall asleep dreaming of Erlenmeyer flasks and clipboards with pencils and results and birds that are seemingly made of shadow and ink and also bubbling green mixtures. Igora, anything you want to do before bed?
Igora just goes to bed.
You dream of calm rivers, lily pads, and just hanging with Gama on a riverbank.
Surprisingly not electric sheep. Cool.
I mean, you're not a construct. So yeah, we are going to... Hold on, where did my lovely sheets go? Oh no, it closed all my sheets. We are going to move on to preparing for the trip. So, let me just open the little bit of text here. Planning the expedition. The academic semester has reached its completion. You guys finish up your final classes. Your students, like, throw things in the air to commemorate the last day of classes for this semester, and they stream out, probably to, you know, engage in some light debauchery. You guys,
As they should, as they should.
you guys,
Just a little debauchery.
Yeah.
As a treat.
debauchery. You guys are free to make your preparations now for the expedition to the Plaza of the Door, the site of the doorway to the Red Star and the center of some of the Milwaukee Expanse's oldest ruins. So the roster of the expedition, because you guys are planning this sort of in coordination with the school, are yourselves, including your TA, unless you want him to stay at home. The adventurous teacher, Ism, Tehenkot, and what turns out to be the 4 pranksters who were responsible for the original incident with the noodle cart. Treviner, Naharaji, Blaine, and Bernie. They will be accompanying you guys, though they seem, when you guys meet them for sort of like a preliminary meeting with the whole expedition, they seem appropriately chastised in a way. They seem to like making an attempt to be on good behavior and be helpful in the meetings. And a few of the other teachers, like, occasionally are giving them little side eyes, like, you guys know you're here on thin ice. This is your chance to redeem yourselves. Yeah. They are excited, though, because this is going to be apparently one of their last big things before graduation. And they're going to be sharing a lot of the mundane duties of setting up camps, collecting and preparing food, and recording the events of the journey.
I am going to need a written list of this roster, my friend.
That is
For my
perfectly
notes.
I have a question
What's the question, Igor?
for the group. In what world is their 1 year from graduating the same as they were 1 day from retirement?
I don't know.
Hard to say, honestly speaking.
Okay.
in the Zoom chat for any who needs to copy and paste that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
As the resident note taker, it is.
I mean, speaking of potentially the people with the most history behind them, and the oldest, closest to potential retirement, I mean, Avi.
Avi's a baby. She technically
Yeah,
has the
but-
longest life ahead of her.
Past lives
It's
might
Charlotte.
count.
It's Charlotte. Charlotte's the closest one here.
I mean, you've heard rumors of magical weapons that are more potent to things that have had longer and more full lives. They are more dangerous to gods than they are to mortals.
Excalibur.
Interesting. Huh.
Storied black barrels. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm not sure if you guys want you have the option to bring other others along on the expedition.
I'm leaving my
Allied
previous-
teachers and students.
Well, I mean, we gotta bring our favorite TA. We couldn't leave him behind.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
We
You
also
could bring
need
along
a,
so Will doesn't have to worry about so much healing.
we also
Yeah.
need a provisionary expert, so I'm going to tap Shazari in.
I mean,
Well,
one
bring
very
Shazari?
specific slice of the
Yeah.
provisions. I mean,
Listen, I think that's the
Does
most.
he want to go?
I don't know. We'll ask Shazari.
For reasons I cannot explain, Shazare cannot come.
What?
Why?
Not God.
He's in the middle of his dissertation.
Right. Dissertation. Uh-huh. Wink, wink.
Interesting.
I mean, potentially he could come. I might just have to change a minor thing in the next book.
Don't worry about
Oh.
it. That's fine.
No, it's fine. Let's leave the plot to the plotting.
Like, don't do that, but I am very curious what that'll turn into.
Yeah. Last book's gonna be wild, guys.
It's gonna take place in the third circle of hell. Think about it.
Oh,
I
there's
don't know
Carla.
actually how the cosmology of the hells works in Pathfinder. Actually,
There's
I know
13.
how it works in D&D more.
Mm.
D&D, it's got the layers of evil Pringles.
Each one spicier than the last.
If
I
you
mean,
stack them on top of
Asmodeus would agree with you.
if you stack them on top of each other, depending on which two circles you use, you can make different flavor combinations.
Quickly, you have to free Karlak from the topmost Pringle.
I sin with multiple rings. Thank you very much. I'm not a one sin, one ring person.
This is a whole other discussion. But
Yeah.
before you
How
guys
many
leave
does it
on the
take to get to
expedition,
the center of hell.
is there?
One?
I mean,
To
A couple.
Three.
is there anything you guys would like to do, or specifically would you like to prepare anything, buy anything before you leave?
I'm curious. I actually do we have a list of things to buy? I'd like to see about some items, but I don't actually have a list of like
Well, I will
Okay.
say this to you guys: if you want, you can go through some like equipment and the like off stream, and then retroactively we'll just say you filled out like you bought some stuff for next time.
shopping episode. Fair enough.
I mean,
Yes,
shopping
we
episode is
just
one
need to-
thing. Buying like, all right, so we need X number of potions this week. The more fun shopping episodes are where you go to like a weird shop, like yes, and like, here's a magical canoe.
You
I
say that
think
first
we can
thing
do that.
first.
We just need to commit to actually sitting down and
I'm doing it.
I can
Keep
lash you
laying
guys
out
a
our
little bit if you
assets.
want.
What are her assets? Just pick
we
a number.
we have so many. We have gotten so much stuff that we just have not added up.
Give me hold on. Give me a.
A
Everyone
monk.
who wants to can give me an Arcana or a Society check.
Oh Lord.
I'll give you a little
Oh,
Arcana.
Ophelia woke up with fire in her heart. Of a certain kind.
That's a 40, but that's a 45.
Okay, both of you guys kind of have a meeting of the minds, and you think you do a quick back checking of your research about the let me just double check this, the group that are guarding the door, which is hold on a sec.
That's not the red ants, is it?
No, those are.
Oh, I
that
got
was,
it. I gotcha.
Hold on a sec. I'm just reading here. I want to get the name right.
What level are we now?
The Lobane. The kind of order, the group that lives, or at least is based in the plaza, and is kind of like the guard of the doorway, and the arch enemy of the cult of nothingness, or the throat of nothingness, the nihilistic cult. You guys know, after doing a quick bit of backtracking your research, that they are great admirers of the magic warriors, the old original followers of Old Mage Chitembe, and it's possible, if you guys want to ingratiate yourself with them or make a good impression, if you had gifts to give, specifically like magic items that are tied to or evoke the magic warriors. That would likely be a very appreciated gift, and would probably do a lot to kind of to clear the air. Because, and you guys still haven't figured out why this is, the Lobane seem to be a little hostile to the Magambia right now. Not like, we'll kill you on sight, but very much like, don't vacation here.
Okay. Well,
Right.
if we wanted to like fake it till we make it in terms of that, if I got a little bit of knowledge in regards to like, oh, hey, this is something that is pertinent to the, the magic warriors, I could craft something that might be akin to that item. So we wouldn't have to try to acquire, but something that might have qualities.
I'm going to say, just because Ophelia rolled an 18 for hers, you know that a couple of the magic items you guys just have in your inventory would actually be perfect.
Crap! What do we have in our inventory?
The things that we have in our inventory.
For
Oh
instance,
boy.
I think you guys recently got an item called the Gorget of the Primal Roar. And way back when, I think possibly in the first book, you guys got something called the Leopard's Armor.
Yep.
I wouldn't have knowledge of that one.
Well, we got a rhino roach.
What did we sell though?
I don't think you guys have sold any of the big name stuff. I think you guys have gotten like generic gems and treasures and stuff that you've sold for just cash.
We have sold a handful of the magical items that we've gotten that we look at and we're like, that's really valuable. It's too bad none of us can use it effectively. And we have hawked those.
Well, we haven't. I mean, I have here in our notes that we have the Gorget of the Primal Roar, and all I have is selling, I guess. But I don't think we've actually sold.
No. You guys look out the window, and Endures in Darkness is like carrying it in his arms on the way to the quartermaster.
Sarah,
Well, I'm a retcon. We might not have sold it just yet. Let's say we haven't sold it just
You
yet.
lassoed the little mushroom man.
Endures in Darkness.
Only a couple of months ago. We wouldn't have sold it just yet. We would have been busy with studies. We would have forgotten that it was collecting.
That is very believable.
Studying?
That's
Puppy
very
on this
true.
bag.
Some of us study.
Some of you learned to drive.
hey, I study at the School of Hard Knocks.
Knocks.
Oh god, not that Tinder bio.
Oh, Tinder
Oh,
bio now.
wow.
It is like the douchey Tinder bio. I'm sorry. If you have, like, instead of an actual school, you just put School of Hard Knocks.
They just say
I immediately, that's a
Is
no.
that better or
it's
worse
not
than
high
saying
school, it's okay.
I studied
If you work at a garage, it's fine.
Right.
the School of Life Is that better or worse?
No, they're both bad. They're
They're
both
both
unoriginal. I think that's what it is for me, is that like because I see it so often, I'm like, you didn't even come up with that. Not only is it not funny, you didn't come up with it.
Leslie
Which
McKenna's
is
on Tinder.
Look, it's okay.
I'm actually not. I just saw it so much when I was that I
Uh,
bleh.
If
Damn,
you,
why you gotta call her out like that, huh?
if you are in, I'm just saying this right now to people. Pass this on. If you, didn't graduate high school but went to a vocational and got into a vocational based job, fucking A, good job. There are so many people that we don't have like studied in vocational work. It's important.
Sarah.
It's arguably more valuable than regular college these days.
Sarah, because you are taking such wonderful notes.
Yes.
In regular, just straight gold conversion in our party inventory, we have 6,495 gold.
6,490.
You guys just turn around and in a closet, there's like a little chest of gold.
We just been putting it in there collectively
I
for
just-
all of
Also a pile
us.
of
It's our
socks.
gold.
I've been holding on to my own gold, though.
I have not. I have no concept of gold. The Anati trade. We're a trading race.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know if that's actually fully and completely true, but looking
Hey,
at
But it's
the
true
Anati
now.
are-
The Anati are a wide and varied people. Your particular family group or village or community could be all about the barter system. It is canon now.
Well,
Correct.
I mean, they're
Correct.
trades and crafters by nature who are nomadics, kind of. So, like, makes sense if they barter.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have made note of it in the handy dandy notes. I will also make note of it in here.
Alright, so here, let me just ask this right now. Who doesn't have a +2 resilient armor right now?
I don't, but I also don't think I have any armor proficiency, so.
Well, I mean, that's including Explorer's Clothing. Like, Igora doesn't have armor proficiency, but I still have Explorer's Clothing that has stuff on it.
I think I took a feat that gives me a cat.
I don't think I have any modifications on my AC.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Wait, well, do you want
Except for mage armor.
Well, then, McKenna, do you want a +2 bonus to your AC and a +2 bonus to all your saves?
Oh.
All your
What?
saves.
What is this from? Is this from the leopard armor?
No, this is from just regular resilient armor.
Yeah, this is just a
This is
thing
just
you can
a-
buy and
This
slap
is
on
just a
any
baseline
armor.
thing that you can buy and slap on things.
This is just the thing the thing we buy, not a thing we have.
You see, yes, the thing we buy. You see this leak right here? Bam. +2 on all your
Okay,
saves.
I think though that we're planning on doing like that
Blood
kind of
leak.
shopping later.
Yeah, we
right?
will. I'm just letting you know, like, that's stuff that we can be getting for us. Like, we can get.
That would be.
We can
The
get.
important thing is that we have an item that we can potentially, in the attempts to, what is the correct word? Infiltrate said Lobane cultic group is in hand. Yes, we have this. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Would it be beneficial to have myself maybe study it a little bit further, just in case we need to make more magical weapons or items of such qualities? Who knows?
Well, I think the fact that you guys, very specifically with the Gorget, you determined that you weren't going to use it anyway, so learning to make more would not necessarily be a great use of your time, you don't think?
Unless they wanted more magical items as tribute. Otherwise,
It's not so much about, we want these kind of magic items. This is a kind of almost unique kind of item. It's a specially made one. that
Right, they're not trying to
evokes-
outfit an army.
Yeah, they're not looking to, like, equip anyone. It's more of like, this is like an artifact that is, like, at least tangentially related to the Magic Warriors, a history that you greatly admire.
Gotcha.
Just need the one.
Potentially, I mean, you would know, Ophelia, that with the nice roll you made, natural 18, that, I mean, if you had more, it might, I don't know, stack a bonus or something.
So worth it, but maybe
do.
not right now. Maybe we'll consider it in the future.
Let's give
Well-
them 2. We're not doing anything with it.
I'm
Huh?
happy to give it away to them.
Yeah.
Too true. Too true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there you guys have some, like, we will retroactively do any sort of equipping and shopping or something.
Yes,
Because
please.
the
Thank
hemming and the
you.
hawing, probably not the most exciting thing on the stream.
Thank you,
Can I,
chat.
as we're chatting and the retroactive functionality, can I calculate in preparation of making items before we go?
What kind of items?
Bombs, elixirs, poison.
Oh, you'll have plenty of time to make as many as you want.
Great.
On
I
the
just wanna
ship. On the
Get
trip.
things mooted up first.
Yeah, you guys will be traveling via river, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I have a lovely blurb about the journey.
Oh, a little journey blurb. You
Yeah.
don't say.
A little journey
Ooh,
blurb.
journey.
Well, then, shall we get into it?
Let's
King Will is eager.
I'm just worried about leaving the cult in town. That's like
I mean, I guess we could gallivant around the cult for another few episodes.
I will just say this as the
Thanks,
DM
crazy for
who
your
is
compliments.
the DM who is still very hesitant about too much extraneous stuff that I've added to this campaign. I know you guys enjoy it, but I do feel like
I
doing-
say whatever happens, happens, and it's just more story and interesting dynamic when you
I should as a heads up, as just a little text box that appears as you guys are about to leave town. The cult
you are
ending.
moving.
The cult ending is the extra secret golden ending of the game. If you guys want the perfect golden ending, you can pursue the cult stuff. If you just want the normal ending, you can complete the adventure path and just
You know
assume the
what?
cult disintegrates or something.
I feel as if there is warrant to letting things stew. As we well know from any good story dynamic, the things happening in the background are the ultimate story when you return to it.
Yeah. The cult has they just seem pretty quiet right now, honestly. You haven't even seen any public appearances of Ophelia's nemesis.
Like any good BioWare video game does.
Yeah, you have to reach a certain point and then plot progresses.
You
Yeah.
must know, Matthew, that the fact that they are not actively doing stuff actually makes me more nervous. I
I will
was
also-
joking about
I will
staying,
also say
but...
this, which will drive McKenna especially a little crazy.
Yeah, drive me crazy, Matthew. Do it.
There will not be room for cult stuff in the next book. So any cult stuff will happen after the main plot is resolved because it is just go time in the last book. Crazy
Okay.
shit is going to pop off, as the kids say.
Bear with me here. I have a thought here. And this is us talking before the big day as we prepare things as we're getting ready is perhaps we implore some of the additional hirelings to work as particular spies and ensure that certain things are set and protected, that in cases of, emergency situations, as it were.
Do you want to booby trap your rooms?
I mean, I always booby trap my room before I leave anyway. I mean, that's just how I work. But the idea is that, I don't know, there's like an underground spy network ring. I mean, we've got Ophelia's like followers.
Remember what happened to the last group of spies Magavia sent to help with the
As far as
cult?
you guys know, they disappeared.
No. Miss Groma's thing was very clear about what happened to them.
Well, she said that to Ophelia in kind of a mean, mocking way, but I'm not sure if Ophelia even shared that
Did
information.
Ophelia not relay that to us?
Of course I would have relayed at least that.
Yeah, I feel like I remember Ophelia saying something about that because that's pretty egregious.
It was still pretty vague.
We could send them home in a matchbox is not vague.
Maybe they miniaturized them.
I
tilting your
don't
head
I
at me?
don't think that's what she meant. I
You tilt your head at
don't.
me, sir?
Yes, I tilt my head at you, sir. I might even bite my thumb if I'm feeling up to it.
Oh,
Careful, TOS.
the audacity!
That's the thumbnail.
They're not. I can't say.
Biting thumbs and ants. There's
What
the
if I
episode
use
title.
a Schooled in Secrets? Because they're no longer really a mystery or secret society, are they? They're kind of just out there. So,
They
like,
have a lot of secrets.
I mean, I could.
I mean, this party has a lot of secrets.
Don't include me in that. Avi has so few secrets. I don't think she has a single one.
I don't know. Still waters run deep.
What does that mean?
What?
She's just a
Anyway,
baby.
Please don't drown.
I think you
me.
know.
I don't.
I don't. I actually don't.
Oh, look at McKenna play dumb.
Well, do you have any other ideas? Because
Am I
honestly
reverse
speaking,
gaslighting?
the
No, you're just
I know
gaslighting.
about cults is a secret shadow cults. The cult of the three. I don't know anything else but
Oh,
If you
that's
guys
true.
want, you can impress upon members of the school's actual administration that you do think that it is worth the possible risk of continuing an investigation in the cult, and that they should not be left to their own devices.
Did we tell the school that we were told, or at least implied, threatened that the
I mean,
two people they
it's
said
up
were
to you.
killed?
It's up to you how much you want to compartmentalize.
I would divulge that to the school,
Yeah.
and I
think-
forgot to tell them.
Teacher Ott was probably kind of suspecting, considering he hadn't heard anything for 3 months-ish.
Mhm.
Yeah, Avi goes in. Well, maybe they shrunk them and kept them in a matchbox that way.
Oh, come on, Avi,
He was
that
like-
seems far-fetched.
Pat Avi's shoulder. Yeah, maybe.
Oh god, you're here too.
Maybe Avi.
Um,
And as you're
but
leaving
just
his
to like
office,
make the school aware of it because something should be done for those kids. I don't. Ugh, that's so sad.
There should be caution. If history has told us anything in regards to any past cults or cult-based essence, and I can use my secrets of the occult knowledge for this. I am schooled in the secrets of secret societies and mystery cults. And then we have Igora, who's a prime example of what happens when bad cults go bad and you have to run away from them. No offense,
Oh.
Igora.
I didn't run. They're not there anymore.
See? Precisely.
everyone kind of looks at Igra.
Listen, there's only one
Mass
way.
Moida.
There's only one way to deal with a cult, and
Moida. So a perhaps maybe not too much of an in-depth investigation, but enough of a protection or ensuring protection, you know?
Yeah.
Teacher Ott both says that he will make an effort to both proactively and kind of like defensively prepare, and that he assures you that he will make sure that the school does not change their policy about letting members of the cult onto campus.
Maybe all we're gonna get.
there is
I'll take that.
there is one thing that Igora is going to be giving before we leave,
Sure.
because I did just have the money for this in my
Oh.
own inventory.
Will, you went completely silent there for a second.
Oh, weird. There is one thing that Igor is going to give to their friends before they leave. Everyone. Ophelia, what type of instrument do you prefer?
Well, I could play anything, but really I play the fiddle.
Alright, then. Igoro will find and source for you a moderate maestro's instrument in the form of a fiddle.
Ooh.
Voice.
Gives you a flat +2 bonus to your performance checks.
Wow.
And
Nice.
the ability to cast a charm spell at 4th rank with a DC 27 save. Once a day.
Nice.
That's cool. Where
That's
can
a
I
free
find
spell slot right there.
Where can I find that specific information? Can you send me that?
I will just put it into your sheet for you.
Thank you. Thanks.
No worries. But yeah, there's a couple of
activities
interesting
in my house
upgrades
right
that
now.
I want to. There's a couple
there
of
like
interesting
a-
upgrades I want to buy people.
+1 moisturizer in there because Endures, he gets a little dry sometimes.
I got some oils that'll work perfect for his little
An
mushroom.
oiled mushroom, just don't throw them in a pan then.
I do kind of want to buy.
Yummy.
I do kind of want to buy Endures in Darkness a staff at some point. I think we should.
Me always a little reluctant to give the NPC character good magic items, but go off.
Well,
He's
no,
ours. We love him.
Well, no. If we get him a staff of healing, that's more healing spell slots a day.
It is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for us.
The
but
healing
also
stick.
he's endured,
Whack.
so.
Healing bonk.
Heal bonk! Bonk.
Oh, I feel better. All right. Well, beyond any sort of retroactive purchasing and the like, one little thing I will mention before you guys hit the road. A package is delivered on the last day and maybe the last 2 hours to the campus for Charlotte. It is wrapped in simple brown paper, but it seems there's been twine wrapped around it, and under the twine, small little purple blossoms have been kind of stuck. And you realize this is from Mercedes.
Aww.
And inside there is an interesting little gift. It is a necklace, but the necklace itself appears to be a small silver cube with little nice flowery kind of little magic symbols. Well, actually, pardon me, not magical necessarily, but it seems like they are words of a sentence, but they're all jumbled up. It's like a Rubik's Cube, but rather than colors, it's like phrases or words and small little magic symbols. And it looks like it's a puzzle waiting to be solved.
Ooh.
And I will assure you, because I'm sure someone thought of it, it is definitely not the Malleus thing from Hellraiser. Solving this puzzle will not open a portal to hell,
Appreciate that.
where someone comes out and puts chains in you, and we have such sights to show you. Everyone seen Hellraiser?
I have not.
The
So
Cenobites?
you just fully went in on that. You committed to that choice.
We'll tear your soul apart.
The thing about Hellraiser
Okay.
is that they tear the soul apart, and you'll enjoy it too.
Eventually.
Eventually.
And then you
Which
get
is-
to wear cool black leather and have lots of hooks in your skin.
I
Cenobites.
worry about y'all.
Cenobites.
Hey, we
Cenobites
didn't make
are
up with it. This is a movie franchise that has
This
gotten
is an
progressively
actual
worse.
franchise.
One that you seem
I've never seen
very
a single
interested
movie.
in.
One that I have even seen, McKenna.
It's
There-
actually
That doesn't surprise me.
Pinhead. You will know him when you see him.
It's a horror series, so it is
You
surprising
calling
that I've seen it.
Pinhead. Pinhead.
No, that's his name because he has pins stuck in his head.
name is Pinhead.
He's instantly recognizable if you see him.
He's not the only one too. There's a wonderful woman whose entire body is flayed out in this absolutely weird-esque sort of halo color
Moisturize
thing.
me.
It's actually really cool freaking design. Look,
Very
As a-
macabre, but
as a horror fan myself, the designs for some of the Cenobites freaking amazing, but creepy.
very dark Eldar core.
Anyway,
But yeah, anyway, so this arrives just in time before you guys leave, and yeah, so more than 400 miles northeast of Nantambu, beyond Lake Okuta, the plaza surrounding the doorway to the Red Star is one of the oldest consistently occupied territories in the Moagi Expanse. The journey to the plaza requires several hundred miles travel up the Vanji River, across the western reaches of Lake Okuta, and up further into the northern jungles of the Moagi Expanse. such a journey is not particularly dangerous for level 15 characters. You guys are attacked a couple times by just occasional monsters or a very unlucky group of bandits, but you guys essentially have a skip encounter button at this point, auto-resolve.
Yeah.
And we've spent so much faffing about in time, I am not going to create new encounters just for this trip. But I am going to ask every one of you to roll me a D100.
Ooh, fun.
Not what you think.
Just for funsies?
That's a 63.
I think
Ooh,
that's
that's a 36. We're opposites.
That is the highest I have ever rolled on a D100. Honestly,
36 was my
Look at
number in elementary school.
38.
Your age in elementary? Are you
Was
Benjamin
my-
Button aging backwards?
It was my number.
Okay.
But mine is 17.
It is the last night before you think you guys are about to reach the plaza, and it's the middle of the night. Charlotte, because you rolled closest to 100, you sort of come to consciousness in the middle of the night, and you just have this strange feeling that you are suddenly remembering vividly your last look at the Magambia campus on the day you guys left. And you suddenly feel the terrible need to recall every detail, every sight you saw, every face you took in, every smile, every word you exchanged with the people as you left. Because you don't know where it comes from, especially because you're not especially magical compared to the rest of the group, especially like Avi Avi, who deals in portents and signs and the like. You feel like a change is going to come, and things might be different. But it's just a feeling. You have nothing to base it on, and eventually you kind of just shrug and go back to bed. Alright. You guys arrive in the area where you believe the plaza is located, and you find some block text.
Block text.
The last of the concealing underbrush and thick foliage obscuring the expedition's path falls away, and with it, the last barrier concealing the destination. A ring of mysterious, humming red stones encircles an otherwise empty courtyard. Around the courtyard stands ancient cathedrals of diverse design, their walls bearing the religious symbols of gods and other stranger symbology. This row of structures further encloses the area through the passage to the inner courtyard. Though the inner passage to the inner courtyard is clear. The smells of wet earth, torn leaves, and decaying flesh mingle on a warm breeze. A breeze that also carries the faintest whispers of distant conversation. As you guys kind of approach the plaza, a long, piercing note blown on a distant horn fills the air before you guys can enter any sort of inner area or surrounding area around the plaza. An instant later, after this horn stops, 5 magical portals open between the expedition and the plaza, in the way. A powerful built man with an obvious magical falchion strapped across his back emerges from the centermost portal. He also carries a brace of spears and an intricately designed lacquered buckler. Raising a fist above his head, the man waits as 4 other, what you now recognize as Lobane Magi, emerge from the other 4 doorways to his left and right. Once these soldiers fall into formation, and the 5 magical doors wink out of existence, the man kind of turns his steely gaze to you guys. He steps forward and introduces himself as Warder Chief Mapondo. He is the leader of the Lobane and guardian of the doorway to the Red Star.
You say warder or warrior?
Specifically, warder. Warder. Someone who wards a thing.
Right.
Who wards?
He looks at you guys, not with naked hostility or anything, but with, he is obviously sizing you guys up and down in terms of who you guys possibly are if you pose a threat. He kind of takes in your outfits and kind of the expedition, like a few of the people in the expedition are probably wearing like obvious Magambia robes, and you see his eyes narrow and his jaw clenches a little bit.
Ophelia's going to curtsy at him. Hello to you, Great Warder Chief Mapongo. We have come from the Magambia, but of course, we come bearing a gift first. And our fairest greetings.
For those who wish to make a first impression, pardon me, just 1 second. I want to make sure if it's the party or just one person. One person can make a diplomacy check to make a first impression, and this will have mechanical benefit because he is starting off. We are doing sort of the changing attitudes thing of diplomacy. He is not hostile, but he is unfriendly.
Okay. I would like to use a performance check for using my feet for this diplomacy.
Sure.
All right, and this is going to have a +3.
You got on the roll itself exactly what you needed, so the +3 puts you well over.
Hooray! Okay, good.
So we are moving from unfriendly to indifferent. So he's not friendly to you, but he's not actively thinking of ways to make you leave.
Okay. Just going to. We don't have like message or anything like that, right? Do we have any sort of connection to each other?
You guys do have the rings that you guys got from Mercedes' vault. But admittedly, that you do have to lift them to your hand and talk into them.
Right. Well, I think maybe we probably would have talked about it before, but just
game plan.
A gentle reminder to use his full name every time that we address him.
Yes.
We're here for you, Rosa.
Mapondo.
Or, Chief Warder.
Please,
or Warder
please,
Chief.
Please spell out his name for me.
Mpondo.
Mapondo. Warder Chief Mapondo. Got it. Will do.
Okay.
I fully and completely believe we shall acquiesce communications with Ophelia.
Unless you guys want to say anything else, I'm going to say that because you did succeed on your initial thing, they will sort of invite you guys inside to kind of have a proper sit down, like not on their front lawn, to explain the purpose of your journey.
Okay. Let's go.
All right. You guys do notice as you come in that these other warriors, they look quite seasoned. These guys look like they're serious business. And as you move further into the structures and the plaza itself, you do see that there are a number of them. You get the impression that Bane are a powerful organization. And not only do they seem to have well-disciplined warriors, but they do appear to be magical in terms of their equipment, and some of them you even see openly using magic. So they are a both militarily and magically strong organization. And just by the amount of kind of seriousness they go about their business around here and how they are, being serious with you guys, you get the impression that they take their stewardship of the doorway seriously. This is something important to them, and they want to do it right. So they welcome you in. They seemingly are, willing to talk with you guys. But you guys are going to need, before they kind of open up and beyond just, yes, we are the little Bane. Hello. If you want them to open up, we are going to need to improve the attitude to friendly. So at the moment they're indifferent. So you guys need to at least move them up one slot.
Have we granted the gift to Warder Chief Lepondo yet? Or did Ophelia just mention we bring a gift?
You did mention you're bringing it, but we're gonna possibly save that to. We're moving into what's called the peace talks part of it all. So Lepondo, about a couple hours passed or something as they greet you and bring you in and just kind of had some initial talks and the like. He is patient, but somewhat exacting. He doesn't have much patience for flowery language and waffling. He asks very direct questions, not rude, but not big on necessarily niceties and small talk. And he seems more than willing to patient to get you guys to sit here and just slowly ask his questions without giving much away or without allowing you guys to wander or do anything.
Right.
So we are going to have to explore some diplomacy options.
Ask away.
Yeah. Let me just make sure I am getting this right. Taking time to negotiate with Lepondo is a delicate process, as he and the Lobane must be vigilant against dangers not only from the surrounding area, but from possible, interlopers. He doesn't necessarily trust you guys yet. So, once each day as a downtime activity, you guys can attempt to make an impression on Lepondo to improve his attitude. And this is a kind of protracted kind of meeting that, according to the AP, takes about 8 hours. Should be noted, critical failures can eventually result in this situation turning hostile. There are stat blocks for both Lepondo and his warriors.
Gotcha.
This could be like a really bad Baldur's Gate route where rather than having a conversation with someone, you have to kill all the NPCs before moving on to the actual quest.
Oh my god.
So, try not to critical failure. I'm just saying, maybe don't critical fail things.
I'm just gonna let the charisma people answer these questions and just sip my Arizona and nod politely.
It should be noted that because you guys succeeded that first check and you're starting already just at the indifferent stage, not the hostile one, you can offer gifts. And because you guys did your research ahead of time, you know exactly what kinds of gifts. And it's mechanically speaking, because you guys especially chose the Gorget itself is going to provide a +2 circumstance bonus to any further diplomacy checks, and if you have any other sufficiently relevant magic items or gifts to present, that bonus will stack to a maximum of +8.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
We definitely present the item, the Gorget of the Primal Roar, as a gift for allowing us into the walls of such a hallowed hall. And then I step back and let Ophelia do a second.
What do you think, Ophelia?
Be charming, like you usually are.
Everyone just collectively steps back and gives Ophelia the thumbs up.
You look around, all your friends are behind you now.
Who's gonna she's gonna bow again. Warder Chief Lepondo, there's a reason that we're here from the Magambia. My cohorts and I are rather new, and even so, we've seen that the school is not as great as it once was. We look for old Mage Jitembe in order to make the Magambia what it once was when the when the 10 warriors were founding the school.
You guys will have to forgive me for this, but are you saying you want to make the Magambia great
Matthew,
again?
Stop.
I'm sorry, it was a golden opportunity.
Was it? It was an orange opportunity.
Was
I
it?
think.
Was
A
it
Cheetos opportunity.
I wanna vomit.
This is your fault.
Well, listen.
Moving on.
Anyway.
The school doesn't even have a school nurse. Like, come on.
So real, bestie.
The school
Say
can't
more
even do
about
anything
that.
about a cult problem in the neighboring town. The school is a hot mess.
Are you saying this
School
out
made-
loud?
The school made the students clean up their bug problem. Like, come on, if that was biting ants, we would be dead.
Are you saying this out loud?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
This was a lot to unpack
Are you?
there.
No. But
Hi,
you-
nice to meet you. Here's an item. Also, I hate the Magambia.
all the thoughts going in her head, and out loud she goes,
Hi.
"Yeah, that's it."
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Tibard, Ophelia.
So yeah, you guys can make another diplomacy check if you want during these 8 hours to make a very good impression and improve to friendly.
All right. +3.
Dang, girl.
Nice.
Anger
Nice. I think that's the first over 50 we've had
That-
in this campaign.
That's
over.
that's a critical success actually, because the DC is 37. That's his will
Holy
DC.
crap.
So even without the bonuses,
Oh my god.
so he goes right from indifferent to helpful. So funny thing is, I think the AP expects you guys to fail that first introductory one because there's supposed to be this whole thing where this could take multiple days. Everyone else has time to do downtime stuff like practical research, but you guys just sped run this. You guys had a guide open. So I'm gonna dump some stuff on you right now.
Oh, yeah.
So we go right to Mapondo's request. After they spent a month near the plaza. So, Mapondo, here's what you have to say. Seems kind of impressed by your frank discussions of why you're here and your intents. He leaves for a bit, I guess, probably to talk with his own kind of council advisors or something. A few hours after that, he comes back. And let me just double check. He leads you guys up to a building in the plaza that serves as a barracks for on-duty magi. There, Mapondo provides the heroes with food and drink before sitting to talk with you in a much less formal setting than the diplomacy talks were. So he explains that millennia ago, old Mage Jutambe battled the king of biting ants at the doorway to the Red Star before driving the vile sorcerer through and presumably destroying him. However, not all traces of the king of the biting ants were fully expunged. Over time, fragments of the king slowly coalesced, I can't pronounce that word properly, into an acid-seeping artifact the Lobane named the Vesiant Egg. The Lobane guarded both the artifact and the doorway through their long-standing relationship with the Magambia. Unfortunately, this relationship with the Magambia left them a little blind and unprepared for something that happened. During a visit from one of the lore speakers of the Magambia, who was helping them maybe research the egg and was talking about having students come by to help further their knowledge, the lore speaker disappeared shortly thereafter, along with the egg. And they named this lore speaker, and it is a name you guys know very well. Corriday.
Fucking Corday!
Yeah. The theft of the Vesiant Egg is the thing that soured the relationship with the Lobane. And he admits to them that the primary reason he was hesitant to grant you guys access to the site was because of this previous betrayal. They didn't want to be burned twice, especially since there was never like a formal apology or anything. Someone showed up, talked about big game about helping out, and then stole this vital, important relic that could be quite dangerous and never followed up.
This wouldn't have happened to have been the thing that was attracting all of the bugs to the Magambia in the first fucking place.
But don't worry, Corday said she was going to get rid of it.
Fucking Corday! Can I send a sending to Teacher Ott right now?
Where is
I was
Gordon?
gonna say, Mapondo tells the heroes that he believes the undying will of the king of the biting ants almost certainly lives on within the egg, and possibly might have pushed her to steal it. Um, and he says, from what Corday told them while she was there in their own experiments, the egg is kind of invulnerable. But they have a theory that if you were to perhaps gather artifacts of power, possibly left by Old Mage Jatembe or possibly in his possession, is he defeated the King of Biting Ants once before, and it's possible he might be able to defeat this egg, or at least scatter it so that, it'll take another 1,000 years for it to, come back together and cause another problem. So you guys have to gather the Dragon Balls. No, so you guys might have to gather some magic artifacts of power suited to challenging the King of Ants' ancient sorcery. And possibly the wisdom of Jatembe himself. And he believes the first step of this lies within, and he points to a ominous-looking building a ways away, the Cathedral of Nothingness. Mapondo explains that a sinister cult named the Throat of Nothingness has claimed several relics of the 10 magic warriors over the years and now hoards them within the cathedral, gathering strength before the next battle against the Lobane. Mapondo offers the heroes a deal. If they enter the Cathedral of Nothingness and defeat the Lich Duandek, their leader, and his servitors, Mapondo is prepared to grant the heroes full access to the doorway of the Red Star and even help them pass through it so that they can seek out Jatembe for help. In addition, any treasures the heroes recover from the cathedral are theirs to keep. Especially after your impressive diplomatic efforts, Mapondo can see no better place for these ancient items than in your hands.
You said
Hey.
lich.
Well, that's very nice of him.
He
So
also
you said
believes
lich.
that the time for an attack on the cult is ripe, and he thinks that a small group of clever infiltrators would be able to slip into the cathedral and quietly take out Dwandek and his lieutenants before they can replenish their forces, because they've been having sort of an ongoing conflict with this cult for years now. Just back and forth. They've had a hard, they can defeat them in the field and everything, but always the cult just retreats to the cathedral, which is heavily magically fortified. So they can never just stamp them out for good.
How many generals? Or how many?
It is unclear. If you can find Dwandek, and anyone who's probably with him and take them out, that's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah. He probably has additional information if you agree.
I mean,
Why wouldn't we?
sounds like a good idea to me. Oh, we leave home to a cult. We come here to another cult. Igora killed a cult. Man.
Yeah, but it sounds like this one is a little bit more straightforward in terms of how we just deal with it.
Great. Let's go kill a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
let's keep that energy going, team.
Yeah. And then we go home and kill a cult.
There we go.
All right. So he has some additional information. First, he informs you all that the only passage into the cathedral is through the front doors, which are guarded by a pair of demi-liches.
Great.
Labane's divinations and spies have revealed to them that the demi-liches always ask a series of questions of anyone seeking into the cathedral, and that they attack anyone who answers the questions incorrectly. It's not one of those, we always tell the truth, we always lie. It's not one of those. They have specific questions.
Speaks in riddles.
No.
I saw one that it was like,
No.
well, I always tell the truth, and one always tells the truth, one always tells the lie. So you just kill one. Is he dead?
Is he dead?
No.
They will. Hot tip though, one of them is very annoying.
Uh-huh.
He just
Okay.
talks incessantly.
What questions?
So,
Okay.
where I lost my place in the thing.
Howie.
While Mapondo does not know all the questions or their answers, he can prepare you guys with some insights based on 2 commonly posed questions that might satisfy the undead's expectations. They also, and this is kind of the sticking point, the demi-liches also demand a sacrifice of each person who seeks to enter the cathedral. The exact nature of this sacrifice varies, but the most important element seems to be that it must be something the individual truly values, such as a powerful piece of magical equipment, or even a piece of your own body, such as an eye or a limb. And these are the 2 questions that they know the demi-liches ask. These might not be all of them, but they know these 2 they do ask.
What if we just,
You could just kill them. Who is the rightful ruler of the plaza and the surrounding lands? So they expect you to know who leads the cult.
On deck.
Yeah. What do you desire?
fun.
Any response tied to the cult's nihilistic embrace of nothingness, or that cites something like the end of all existence. You know, I've taken a first-year university course on Nietzsche. Appeals to demi-liches.
Jesus.
They want you to be edgelords to get in.
I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Be
it's
an
a good thing I
edgelord.
bought a gun.
Yeah, fighting the demi-liches is a dangerous option, and Mapondo is hesitant to recommend it as a tactic, but he won't try to stop you, because he really dislikes the demi-liches.
Avi, do you have
But before they
anti-magic
became
zone?
demi-liches, they were liches and killed a bunch of his ancestors.
Avi, do you have anti-magic zone?
No.
How dare you use my own
Damn
tactic against me, Will?
I feel like that's a perfectly valid thing to
No.
do, Matthew.
Yeah, fair turnaround is fair play. Remember that, Will.
Oh.
Remember that, Matthew.
So stakes are high here, y'all. I know we're laughing about this situation, but stakes are high because either we fight these things and possibly die, or we willingly sacrifice pieces of ourselves and have to answer the multiple questions that they have up there. And I
Try
can
the
tell
questions
you for a fact,
first,
I
because if
can
you
tell
get them wrong, you don't have to give up a limb.
Well, what if we kill a cultist and we just use parts of their body?
Unfortunately, all the cultists are holed up in the cathedral right now. So to get at the cult, you have to get by the two demi-liches, who are like weird little alcoves in the door. The little guard skulls with jewels for eyes, because that's how demi-liches work. Sorry, sir. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just thinking really, really hard in regards to what.
And
Hey,
you guys just got
Anders.
that big revelation about Corriday.
Can you prepare regenerate?
Oh, wow.
Oh God.
I
What?
mean, Enduring Darkness might be able to.
That's what I'm saying. Endures. Can you prepare and regenerate? How many castings of it do you have a day? Because honestly, y'all, if I'm down a hand, it doesn't matter to me.
A whole hand, Ikara?
Yeah, like I don't need like a hand.
What about like a pinky finger?
Well, if
Do you
I can
have
do no, but the thing is, like, if I can sacrifice for everyone, I'll lose an arm if I have to, and then we're set.
Yeah, but
No,
don't we
they did
all have
specifically
to
say that it's one from every person.
Yeah, we can like stitch
No,
it on.
technically, I could time beacon myself, cut off my hand, and then get my hand back after.
Yeah.
But then you'd also be back outside the temple, theoretically.
Well, it's just me that it affects, not my position.
I'm just saying, if Endures has 5 castings to regenerate, probably not.
Regenerate is a 7th level spell, so he only has 3 potentially.
Alright, so there you go. That's Ophelia, that's Avi, and that's Charlotte, and Endures and I go down a finger for a day. It's not the end of the world.
We can keep it in milk.
What?
What?
I'm assuming we're talking about this in front of Enders, and Avi just says,
You want to run that by Endurs before you volunteer him to be down a finger for a day?
It'll grow
To
back.
be fair, of all the people in the party, I'm the most likely to regenerate a limb.
That's
It's
so
also our
true.
responsibility to keep safe. You're our student.
Hey, do demi-liches see through invisibility?
Yes.
Well, it is unclear. You guys, if you want, could make some sort of check about demi-liches.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do that.
What do we know?
I'm assuming that's going to be an occultism check.
They are undead, so yeah.
Occultism with discern secrets. That's a 31.
Oh, I try to. What the frick?
Wow, Ophelia is feeling energized to be adventurous and not a teacher. So that is
having a
both
session.
that is one success and one critical success. So I will. You had a very specific question. Let me just double check senses. Demi-lich eyes.
I mean, now technically, Matt, with the new rules, you just give us as much knowledge as you think that we deserve for the roles that we got. There's no X number of questions, so
Demi-liches, unless they specifically have they have a number of spells that they can do, but to the best of your knowledge, oh no, pardon me, yes, they have constant true seeing activated.
Yeah, that tracks for Demi-Lich.
And just because you rolled a crit, I will also tell you that they are, as you can imagine, for an undead floating skull, they are immune to disease, paralyzed, poison, polymorph, and unconscious. And they are resistant to cold 5, electric 5, fire 5, physical 5, except bludgeoning, because they are a hollow skull.
That's right. Guess what we're not good at?
Bludgeoning.
They also have quite a lot of abilities. They have 9th level spells, or a 9th level spell. And because you rolled a crit, I will tell you this because it is possibly very important. They have spell turning.
Oh.
So as a reaction, they can turn one of your spells that you cast on them back at you. Whether or not that works on AoEs, I don't know.
like Kirby.
And does it work on like all spells or spells that they also have? Is it like counter spell?
No, it is a spell that they can cast at will at a reaction. It's a 7th level spell that allows you to reflect a spell.
Okay. Well, it's either you give up a limb or something important to you, right?
There's more to it than that though, because that was one of several questions.
Well, there's the questions. You have to get all the questions right potentially, and you have to give up something important to you that will show your dedication to nothingness. You have to
See,
show
that
you don't
is
care.
just overkill, in my opinion. Either you go with the questions or you go with the sacrifice, is all I'm saying. You don't do both. I mean, you do both if you fail the questions, and then you have to sacrifice.
Shocker.
I mean, just
An evil cult is not fair.
I
mean,
think
literally,
they make the rules on that, unfortunately.
just literally hear me out in this situation. We can literally just grow back whatever we sacrifice off of ourselves.
It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, but like, you know, sometimes you gotta break an egg to make an omelet.
What if, and hear me out,
Legs.
we find an anti-magic scroll
Yeah. Keep in
or
mind
buy
that
one?
that will also kind of shut down all of y'all, so.
I think they might be shutting us down anyway on account of they can be whipping our spells back at us as a reaction.
Here, let me rephrase that. As confident as I am in my abilities and my ability to do things, how do I put this? I don't think I can solo 2 demi-liches within the amount of time of an anti-magic field.
They do have a decent amount of health.
I could stand outside the magic field and whip telekinetic projectiles at them from outside of it.
pretty sure anti-magic field stops all magic.
We have done this before. Telekinetic projectile, because it is cast and catapulted from where that object is. If you are catapulting an object from outside of the anti-magic field, it's already moving. Like, the magic is to project it,
Yes,
not necessarily to
the initial,
carry it.
The magic
Oh,
is used
sweet.
to start the momentum. Momentum is not magic.
Very nice.
Yes, we
It's like-
went through that with the the cave outside Jula.
Yeah.
We ended up befriending
This
her. It
might
was-
be sort of a house rule, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah. So theoretically, I could help with that. That also would not affect Charlotte's bombs, a lot of her alchemical stuff,
Yeah,
or
all of our
Ophelia's
alchemical
bow.
stuff.
Yeah, I can use my Oath Keeper.
Okay, so like, as long as we have options. You know what I mean?
So it's just a matter of finding a spell scroll with anti-magic on it.
That might be a little specific, but we're going to deal with that and maybe give our party a week to plan this possibly tricky
Yeah.
encounter. This is a bit of a possibly a gear and planning check. If you want to take on the cathedral, you have to get past this one fight.
Yeah.
But we'll deal with that and the repercussions of the revelation of Cordae's misdeeds next time.
In trouble.
I love her so much as a character, but I'll be damned if she is not the cause of like half of Megamia's problem.
I mean, retroactively, it makes sense that in a way she's the cause of all the problems for the entire first book, almost.
I mean, I
And then
guess,
some.
how do you solve a problem like Corriday? But thank you all so much for coming to tonight's episode of the Strike the Thousands AP. Join us next time as we continue our romp through the Demi-Lich Temple.
Dilemma. The Demi-Lich.
Dilemma.
Well, you have to graduate from Demi-Lich, then up to the Lich.
I suppose.
I still think it should be called, our next episode should be called Demi-Lich Dilemma.
To Demi-Lich Dilemma. Sure
Demi-Lich
thing.
Say that
Delight.
5 times fast.
Right.
Demi-Lich Dilemma, Demi-Lich Dilemma, Demi-Lich Dilemma, Demi-Lich Dilemma, Demi-Lich Dilemma.
Say that
Cool.
5 times fast without a
So-
theater degree.
Anyway, thank
Okay,
you
I
all
mean,
for joining us.
Yes.
Bye!
And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everyone.